A new feature called Adventure Effect is coming to Pokemon Go alongside 2 brand new shiny legendary Pokemon, all happening as a part of the extremely anticipated Sinnoh Tour event, which we do have some new information and news on that we'll share at the end or later on in the video. Because first, let's start with these 2 brand new Pokemon, because through them is where we'll get the new feature. It's kind of complicated, stay with me. In 2022, the new Pokemon game Legends Arceus was released. It was a huge open world game that introduced Hisuian Pokemon, some of which we've already seen introduced into Pokemon Go. These include Weirdeer, Cleaver, Ursaluna, Sneasler, and Overqwil. Well, we're now officially getting our first ever Hisuian legendary Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Releasing during the Sinnoh Tour, we'll have the brand new Origin Form Palkia and Origin Form Dialga, available to catch shiny. Now, although Hisuian Pokemon are technically a part of a later generation, this release does make sense for the Sinnoh Tour. Dialga and Palkia are both Generation 4 legendary Pokemon, so to release their cool, newer, exclusive forms as a part of the event makes a lot of sense. Nice little plot twist, you know? And the even crazier twist is the Adventure Effect new feature, which we'll explain in a second. First, the fine print of these 2 new legendaries. Origin Form Dialga and Palkia will be releasing for the first time during the Los Angeles Sinnoh Tour event. They'll be spawning in 5-star raids during special space-time anomalies, which I will explain. The shiny will be available for people with an active Sinnoh Tour LA ticket, and if you do not have an active ticket, you can still do the raids and catch the Pokemon, but you can't get the shiny until the global event happens. Also, these new Pokemon cannot be transferred into Pokemon Home. Okay, what are space-time anomalies and how can you get these new Pokemon? Because you will need them in order to activate the new Adventure Effect feature. Space-time anomalies are a brand new feature that allow for Hisuian Pokemon to spawn both in the wild in habitats and in raids. Assuming because Hisuian Pokemon, futuristic, whatever. So this feature will most likely affect the actual spawns during the Sinnoh Tour. It actually will affect them, and we'll explain that later. During the LA Sinnoh Tour, a space-time anomaly will happen during the final 30 minutes of every single hour during the event, which means you'll be able to catch the brand new Origin Form Dialga and Palkia during these 30-minute windows. 8-hour event, 8 space-time anomalies. During the global Sinnoh Tour event, a space-time anomaly will occur during the entirety of 2 of the habitats, the Ancient Grove and the Geothermal Lagoon habitat. And these are rotating habitats, so each one of these will happen twice during the day, I assume. So plenty of opportunities to get the legendaries and, hunt the space-time anomalies. All right, that's how to get these new Pokemon. How do you get the new feature? How do you use all of this? Adventure effects are temporary bonuses given to players that are activated by using the exclusive moves on Origin Form Palkia and Origin Form Dialga, which is such a sick mechanic. You can use a move on one of your Pokemon to affect your in-game, playable bonuses. Functional moves outside of attacking. This is so cool. Starting with Origin Form Dialga. If you catch one during the event, you'll get it with the exclusive move Roar of Time. Now, I don't think you're guaranteed to get this exclusive move, but we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Now, if you do have one of these Pokemon in your account, Origin Form Dialga with the Roar of Time Moon, you will be able to activate the Adventure Effect. Like the name suggests, you'll be able to manipulate time. You can activate the Roar of Time Adventure Effect by using 5,000 Stardust and 5 Dialga Candy. This will distort time for 6 minutes. What does that mean? It will pause the timer on the following items: Incense, Daily Incense, Lucky Eggs, and Star Pieces. Yes, for the first time ever, you will be able to pause your premium items, which means if you use a Lucky Egg and you have to log off for 30 minutes, you could just pause the game and then come back to your Lucky Egg resuming. Or if you use the Daily Incense, which you only get 1 of per day, and you need to log off and do something, you could pause your Daily Incense, get done what you need to get done, and come back and resume the Daily Incense. This is such a sick feature and allows for a lot of really cool strategy when kind of playing throughout the day and week, and allows for a busy life to intervene with the game. Very, very cool. And it doesn't just stop at 6 minutes. You can extend the timer by 6-minute increments by using more Stardust and more Dialga Candy. The timer can be pushed all the way up to 2 hours at a time, with the maximum amount being 24 hours, which basically means you can extend the pause on a specific item up to 24 hours, which might mean that, let's say you start your Daily Incense, you pause it, you pause it till the next day, you resume it, finish the Daily Incense. Does that mean you could technically use 2 Daily Incenses in the same day? Again, there's a lot you can do with this. Although it will be somewhat expensive, if we do 24 hours times 60 minutes, that's 1,440 minutes in 24 hours. If we divide this by 6, 240 minutes, or increments, times 5,000 will run you 1.2 million Stardust every 24 hours, and 1,200 Dialga candies. So it's not cheap. Also good to know that you cannot TM this move onto your Origin form Dialga, not even with elite TMs. So if you want this feature, you're basically gonna have to raid and catch Origin form Dialga during Sinnoh Tour. Also important to know that you cannot use the adventure effect on Dialga and Palkia at the same time. Which brings us to the next adventure effect, Spatial Rend, which is the one I'm most excited about. By defeating and catching Origin form Palkia during Sinnoh Tour, you can get one with the move Spatial Rend. Once you have this Pokemon in your inventory, you can activate the effect by using 5,000 Stardust and 5 Palkia candy. And what happens next is one of my favorite updates in a while. For 10 minutes, you will distort space and time and expand the radius of your Pokemon seeing and catching abilities. Your Pokemon encounter radius will expand. We're not exactly sure how much it will expand. I'm assuming and hoping 2 times the current. But basically, you'll be able to see probably around 2 times more Pokemon in the wild, like 2 times further, which is awesome. And it's extra cool because last year Niantic released this feature, unfortunately as a glitch, but everybody loved it, and then Niantic took it away and everybody hated them. So now they're bringing this back as part of a cool new feature, so I'm all about that. That's super duper cool, really good execution, and a great way to like give something to the community as part of a new feature with like some grind incentive. Awesome. And this feature will absolutely change the game on major key updates like Community Days, Go Fest, the Sinnoh Tour itself. Being able to see more spawns during major events is a huge advantage. So one thing I'm definitely going to be doing is grinding as much Stardust and Palkia candy as possible, and also probably stacking up rare candy to dump into my Palkia for extra candies. Now, obviously 5,000 Stardust and 5 candies for a legendary is not cheap, and again, 1.2 million Stardust every 24 hours, at least for Dialga. So just so you know, the best strategies on getting more legendary candy and Stardust include PvP. It's just the #1 way to grind Stardust in Pokemon Go, and there are always upcoming PvP events where there's like boosted Stardust. So it's the Go Battle League's the best way for Stardust. For legendaries, completing in-person raids is huge because you get extra candies for that Pokemon by completing it in person, and you get rare candies that you can put into legendary Pokemon. Also, it's important to always have a Pokemon Mega Evolved that is the same typing as the legendary Pokemon you're raiding, so that when you catch that legendary, you get bonus candies from the Mega Boost. Speaking of catching, there's one more detail worth paying attention to. As part of the official announcement, Pokemon Go states, trainers participating in Pokemon GO Sinnoh Tour Global will have a chance at encountering these Pokemon with their signature attacks. The version of the event you choose will affect your chances. Trainers who choose the Diamond version will encounter an Origin form Dialga that knows Roar of Time. Trainers who choose the Pearl version will encounter an Origin form Palkia that knows Spatial Rend. So I'm not really sure if this means you only get one of the exclusive adventure effect moves, or if not every Dialga and Palkia that spawn in raids are guaranteed to have the exclusive move that gives you the new feature. And that's basically how I assume this will work. So I assume these legendaries will spawn in the wild with a possibility of having the exclusive move that then gives you the new feature. If you choose the Diamond version, you probably have a higher likelihood of getting a Dialga with Roar of Time. And if you choose the Pearl version, you'll probably have a higher likelihood of getting a Origin form Palkia with Spatial Rend. Choked on my spit. But I'm assuming if you raid enough during the event, you should be able to get both moves just fine. We'll have to see. And how will these legendaries be in Pokemon Go? Will we be raiding these only for the new feature, or are they actually useful? Origin form Dialga will be a dual dragon and steel type with a max CP of 4,624, which is actually slightly higher in CP than the regular Dialga. And the regular Dialga is the number 6th overall steel type, and it ranks 30th in the Masters League, so it's super duper meta relevant, which probably means Origin form will be even more meta relevant. Origin form Palkia will be a dual water and dragon type with a max CP of 4,683, which again is slightly better than the regular Palkia, which is a pretty decent Pokemon, ranking 10th overall as a dragon type, as a water type, and it ranks 20th in the Masters League. So this too will probably also be a potentially viable legendary Pokemon. They're new, they're meta relevant, they've got a brand new feature attached to them. Definitely say that Origin form Palkia and Dialga will be worth raiding in the Sinnoh Tour. And speaking of the Sinnoh Tour, we actually got some brand new updates released like minutes ago for me, so sorry this part of the video isn't as polished, but there is some new news regarding Sinnoh Tour. Obviously, Origin form Dialga and Palkia are coming out. Space-time anomalies are obviously happening during the event, but not only will they bring Origin form Dialga and Palkia into the raids, but there will also be additional Hisuian Pokemon appearing in all habitats, and Unknown H, Unknown I, Unknown S, and Unknown U will be attracted to incense as well. So you can get your shot at those shiny unknown during the space-time anomalies. Oh, I get it. Okay, so basically during like the Entangled Ruins habitat, during a space-time anomaly, you'll have Hisuian Voltorb and Kleavor spawning in the wild. So for each habitat, there will be different Hisuian Pokemon in the wild, and they will be able to be shiny. Also important to know that Kleavor has only ever been in raids before, so this is looking like some pretty premium raid-exclusive Hisuian shinies will be available in the wild. So that's a big deal. Also, Spiritomb is gonna be here, and it looks like you'll get up to 10 encounters with Spiritomb, I'm assuming with heightened shiny odds, which is cool. Now, this is looking like if you're only going to be at the in-person event, there's going to be some Spiritomb Pokestops spread around, kind of like how with the Seoul City Safari event, we got the Eevee, but we had to like walk around and spin like an Eevee Pokestop to get an encounter. It's gonna work the same way with Spiritomb. Oh, cool, wait, more information. Okay, so during space-time anomalies in the raids, we'll be getting Hisuian Decidueye, Hisuian Typhlosion, and Hisuian Samurott in the 3-star raids, all of which can be shiny. That's very cool. And in the 1-star raids, we'll be getting Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott during space-time anomalies, all of which can be shiny. Cool. Yes, okay, Entangled Ruin habitats. During the space-time anomaly, we're gonna have Pikachu wearing Akari's hat, Hisuian Voltorb, and Kleavor in the wild, all can be shiny. During the Seaside Metropolis in the space-time anomalies, we'll have Hisuian Quillfish, the Pikachu, and Hisuian Braviary in the wild, all can be shiny. During the Bubbling Mire, we'll have the Pikachu with Ree's cap, Hisuian Growlithe, and Ursaluna in the wild, which can be shiny. That's insane. And for the Mountain Hot Springs habitat, during the space-time anomalies, which again is the last 30 minutes of each hour, it's going to be the Ree's Cap Pikachu, the Hisuian Sneasel, Hisuian Avalugg, and Weirdeer in the wild. That's crazy. And it's important to know that for the global event, it's looking like it's going to be the exact same thing in terms of raids. And yeah, but not in terms of spawns though. It looks like the wild spawns will not be impacted by the Space-Time Odyssey thingies. So, also in LA, there will be a new costume Pikachu, a white striped Basculin appearing specifically on routes, and a lot more other things as well to probably be revealed coming soon. So make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, because I will be reporting, obviously, all this information as it gets released to you as fast as possible. Wow, white striped Basculin on routes. Finally, some routes like love right there. That's great. And that's what's going down during Sinnoh Tour with a brand new event, a brand new feature, and some really cool new Pokemon. Let me know in the comments what you think of this new feature. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.